At one time in his life, the Báb had no definite occupation and spent much of his time at prayer in the upper room of the house. Some mornings he walked in the fields outside the city, returning home only at sunset. One afternoon he came home from a walk earlier than usual, informed Khadija Begum that he had a particular task to attend to that evening, and asked that the evening meal be served early. After their meal, the Báb went to bed and slept. Khadija Begum also slept, but about an hour later, when their house was quiet, she heard her husband get up and leave their room. When he had not returned 1 hour later, Khadija Begum became anxious and got up to search for him. She thought that he might have left the house, but she found the main door locked from the inside and knew that he must be still inside the house. She walked to the western side of the house and looked up to the rooftop. She saw, to her surprise, that there was a light burning in the upper room. Khadija Begum knew that the Báb never went to that part of the house at night unless he had guests. Khadija Begum climbed the steps at the northern side of the courtyard, wondering what might have taken him to that room. Then she caught sight of him standing in the room. His face was luminous, and it seemed to her that rays of light streamed from it. Tears streamed from his eyes. His hands were raised, and he was chanting a prayer in a most melodious voice. Khadija Begum trembled with fright as she looked at him. She was unable either to enter the room or to retreat. It seemed to her that she had no will of her own, and she felt herself on the point of screaming when the Báb motioned to her, indicating that she should go back down the stairs. She then found that she had enough courage to return to her bed, but she could not sleep. She lay there until the morning, wondering what might have happened to cause such tears and sorrow, and to induce prayers and supplications of such intensity. In the morning, when the sun rose, their servant took the samovar to the room of the Báb's mother, and the Báb went there as usual to drink tea. Khadija Begum followed him. His mother had left the room. When Khadija Begum looked at her husband, she saw in him once again the same majesty and splendor that she had witnessed the previous night. She grew pale and began to shake with terror. The Báb greeted her with great kindness and affection. He asked her to sit down and gave her tea to drink from his own cup. Khadija Begum felt her strength and courage returning, and when the Báb asked her what troubled her, she was able to say that it was the great change in him that she had witnessed during the night. The Báb smiled at her and said that although he had not wished to be seen in the upper room, God had ordained otherwise. He explained that it was the will of God that she should see him in that way, so that she should come to know with absolute certitude that he was a manifestation of God. As soon as she heard these words, Khadija Begum believed in him, and her heart became calm and assured. She fell on her face before him, and from that moment on, she lived only to serve him. The Báb did all that he could to strengthen and prepare her for the ordeals that lay ahead.